20-step process that I have to follow just to like unlock the value that I want to get out of something, I'm losing interest after step 2, and that's usually when I want to churn, right? There might be one or two survivors that can do something that Sora can't do, but that's just the world we're living in right now. Let's say you engage in a specific ecosystem and you have like you hold token XYZ on a specific chain. You adjusted your tooling to that chain. So you have a wallet for that chain, you have this and that, you know your sites. So, and since all of that is so involving and time consuming, and this is also for the record, like even for people who have been in that space for 5+ years, this is my cry to founders. For Christ's sake, please, like think more about UI and UX and make it more convenient. If you really want to see like mass adoption, if I have to jump through this like 10-step process to set something up, shit, like, I mean, first of all, no one reads instruction manuals, especially not men. Women are a lot better with that, by the way. We just usually throw them away and then go on this tantrum why things are not working. But like if I have to have an instruction manual to use a software tool, and like have this like 20-step process that I have to follow just to like unlock the value that I want to get out of something, I'm losing interest after step 2, and that's usually when I want to churn, right? And yes, you create a lock-in effect with that, and you retain the community by making it so hard to switch or making it so inconvenient. But that's not a real mode, if you are honest. That's just it's just.
No, that's a vendor lock. That's a vendor lock.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
And I mean, like, and I think that's the hard part of. Well, that's the hard part of crypto. And that's the interesting thing about Gen AI, because Gen AI moves so quick. There is no vendor lock because, I mean, maybe on different LLMs, right? But they will probably have their own ecosystem at some point as well. But it's easier to replicate. Where crypto it loves vendor locks and calls it, no, it's loyalty. It's like, no, it's a vendor lock.
Exactly.
We're gonna get crucified for this one, by the way.
Spicy.
All the maxis will roll out. They're like, like, so we'll dox the hell out of you now. So you know, I think retaining value will always change as we move forward with emerging tech. And I think as a founder, it's really important to understand when to stick to your guns and when to pivot, right? Because your value that was definitely in the bull market, but that was 6 months ago, first mover advantage, might have now been, you know, changed by either the LLM or chain that you're building on. They just took your value and they said, goodbye, you are useless right now.
It is.
Or somebody else just is faster and quicker. So this market, you got to be on edge. But also, if something is good and if something works and you have the traction, don't change it if it's not broken. So it's a really, really hard balance to strike. And I'm sometimes glad that I'm a technologist and not in business operations or in venture capital, because it is a really hard world or a hard industry to work in. Definitely in the current market.
I mean, look at what happened with Sora, right? When OpenAI released Sora or announced Sora, they pretty much put 80% of text-to-video startups out of business. And those received quite some considerable funding just like 6 months before that. So there might be one or two survivors that can do something that Sora can't do. But that's just the world we're living in right now. So honestly, one of the biggest questions, if you're building an AI, and I said this before, and I'll say it again, like one of the biggest questions you should ask yourself as a founder is, how big is the risk that one of the foundational model providers will just do my thing, just at scale, a lot easier, and already with 100 million users using that technology, easily switching them over to the new thing, right? Like, because that is a real risk. If your solution is too broad, and this is actually like completely contradictory to anything that a VC would normally think about, like you want to have this big TAM, this big addressable market. Right now, like with Gen AI, it's if your market is too broad, there is an extremely high risk of the foundational models just venturing into that application layer that you are building, and basically knocking you out before you can even like build up that community that you would need to survive.
Yeah.
And for anyone like sticking with us for this long, like one last nugget that I'm gonna drop because I just find it super fascinating. So there was this overview of average time to product market fit of like really known like startups like Canva, Ramp.
I've seen
what
that.
was it? Slack, Figma, like like really well-known unicorn startups that have been around for the last 10 years sometimes. So the variety was from like 6 months to 4.5 years of product market fit. Average was hovering around 2.5 years. Now, if you say that you usually have iteration cycles every 2 to 4 weeks, just do the math how many times you iterate. And I don't know a single founder, and talking with them about their startup when they reach product market fit, that didn't pivot. I would even say you can bet that about 90% of startups don't grow big with the solution that they initially started with. Look at Airbnb and all of them, right? Like, So what that means is, first of all, if you are not willing to let go of your initial concept because you don't see the market responding to it, then you really should consider if you want to be a founder. That's one. But to frame it more positively, if you are resilient enough to stick with it for 2.5 years, going through a lot of bad times and hopefully also a lot of good times, then there is a high chance that you will see this inflection point where people are pulling. There's two things in conjunction with what we just said. One, Gen AI might reduce that time because you might be able to iterate faster and get to the point faster. But secondly, it's also a real question that you should ask yourself: how defensible is the solution that I'm trying to build? And can it actually last for the next 2.5 years without being outcompeted or completely replaced, because technology will move so fast that what I'm building right now will not be relevant in 2 years anymore.
Amazing. Yeah, and I think I couldn't agree more. I think the ease of creating the actual piece of technology can also lead to the ease of switching cost.
Yeah.
Not only that, I just agree. I was gonna, yeah.